If you have an electric eel wheel, I know that you have this problem too. The brake band will always break on you, and it's always when you're right in the middle of a nice groove and you're just spinning along and all of a sudden, snap, there it goes, it breaks. And instead of it being a horror story and causing all this misery, I'm gonna show you on how I fix it super quickly, super easy. So in just seconds, you are back to your spinning and it is not a problem. So stick around, let's fix this and get back to our spinning. Hi, my name is Meg and I am the owner and dyer behind Megs & Co. and this is the Between the Skeins podcast. Today is day 1, 2, 3 of Tour de Fleece and I have been spinning along on my Tour de Fleece project, which is my very first chain ply. I've been making really great progress, as you can see, and my bobbin is about halfway full. I've been using my Electric Eel Wheel. I have the 6.0, and tragically, dun, 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 my brake band has broken. This is something that happens very frequently. I can get through probably about 600 to about 800 grams before inevitably this brake band will snap. The brake band is just a cotton cord and it sets into the plastic bobbin right here. And so it's grinding on plastic. And if you really look carefully inside this bobbin, you can even see, because it's a 3D printed bobbin, you can even see that there's like some etchings. There's like a line in there where there's definitely just a lot of snag points. So as you are adding tension and especially weight to your bobbin, it's literally just grinding apart this cotton cord. So while you can call it a design fail, it's also one of the things that makes this machine incredibly affordable because it is just 3D printed. So they probably could do cast molded bobbins to get rid of that line etch that is tearing away at the cotton cord, but then these bobbins would become significantly more expensive. So anyway, so here's how I fix it. So first and foremost, I'll show you what the material that I use. So when you first purchase your wheel, they're going to send you this itty bitty amount of cotton cord for a replacement brake band, and that's going to last you maybe one more spin. So if you have just purchased a wheel, you immediately go and order. This is just cotton baker's twine. It's just a cotton cord, and it's literally just cotton baker's twine. I have ordered this on Amazon. If you have access to like a really nice cooking store, I'm sure you can find it there. I've never been able to find this in a store, so I just used Amazon, but it is just cotton baking twine. So you can literally use this in your kitchen if you needed to, but I just got a giant tube of this, and this has lasted me since I've ordered the wheel. I wish I had a picture of how much was on this because I've used a ton. But I've not had to order more, and I don't think it cost more than $5. So it's just ordered the giant spool of this. And yeah, so I start there. And my trick here is instead of just measuring enough of the twine, so you need to connect your spring here to your knob. And I'm going to show you, instead of just connecting enough of this twine to the knob to get you to the knob, because it's got to go from the spring to the knob and then over the bobbin to apply that tension, I put as much twine as I can possibly fit onto this knob. So you can see so you tie one end of the twine to your spring, and you tie the other end of the twine to this knob, but instead of just measuring like the exact amount that you need to get over, I measure a ton. I measure as much as I can pack on to this knob, and here's why. So when I know that I'm going to embark on a major spin like this, I change my brake band. I did not change it before this spin because it looked okay going into it. I thought I was going to make it through it. Obviously, I did not. But I had a ton of brake bands, so that's why I just didn't change it. But here's why I have a large brake band, because instead of having to just redo the whole thing, all I need to do is cut out this broken section. So I'm just going to just make a cut here. And a cut here. So all I'm doing is cutting out those weakened sections that have been rubbing on that bobbin. Now I'm going to wind it all back onto the knob. And you don't have to unwind the knob. I only did this just to show you how much is on there. So you just cut out those weakened sections and then just knot it back together, because where you cut out is going to fall to the side of the bobbin, because I cut out about 1.5 to 2 inches from both sides. So now where I cut out has fallen to the side. It's not on the bobbin, so it doesn't matter. If these two little antennas bother you, you can just snip them off. And you just put it back on the bobbin. You tighten it up. I like to tighten it to where it has a nice pluck, but it's not so tight that it's like cranking on that spring. But that's it. I'm good to go. And I didn't have to restring my whole brake band. All I had to do was cut out those two sections of where the cotton had been weakened, tie them together, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to move on. And if I wasn't chatting while doing that, that would have taken me less than 45 seconds. So that's my tip on how you can just add a ton of brake band reserve and wind it all onto your knob, and then that way, whenever it does break, because it will break, it is just the compromise that you have to make for having the cheaper 3D printed bobbins. When it does break, you just snip out those weakened ends, move on with your life. If you are nervous about it breaking, because obviously when it breaks, it does kind of send your project a little bit into chaos. You can see I will have to unwind a little bit where it just kind of shot all over the place, as I've got some of these curly bits right here. So I will have to unwind a little bit and deal with that. So yeah, this little section here, I'll just have to cut it out. So if if it's something that gets you nervous, at the start of every bobbin, I would just cut the section that's resting on the bobbin. I would just cut it out, so you always know that you're starting with a nice fresh cord. And typically I can get through a whole bobbin just fine. Or just check it, when you're taking your breaks, and you're taking your beverage breaks, your restroom breaks, whatever, just take a peek. Do you see breaks? Because usually the plies in the actual cotton cord start to kind of pop up before it actually breaks. Or usually I start to notice that it is not actually breaking like it should, because those plies are weakening and it's starting to separate, and I'm just not getting good uptake in the yarn. So I can actually notice a change in the wheel's performance, and it's usually the brake band is starting to fail. And so if you are noticing that, just cut that bit out. Just cut it out, tie it off, move on. It takes literally less than a minute, and It's something that I'm not going to say it changed my life, but it changed my spinning connection with this wheel. Anyway, happy spinning. I hope that you are enjoying your Tour de Fleece. You can join me over on my Discord. I am spinning along with Team Megs & Co. We are having so much fun over there. We are sharing our projects, we are sharing our spins, and we're playing bingo. There are prizes. So definitely head over to the Discord. All the details can be found on my blog at megsandco.com or in all of the description links down below. So thank you so much, and I will see you hopefully in a couple days in another video.